Hey YouTube, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be focusing on the RayNeo Air 4 Pro. This is the latest and greatest offering from RayNeo in terms of display glasses. Now, these ones are releasing on the 27th of February. That should be today or tomorrow, or if you're seeing this later, it already happened. But basically, these are screen glasses, and what they're designed to do is plug into something that has a USB output and works with DisplayPort alt video signal and will play your video through these glasses. Now, these are not the first glasses of their kind, but I will say I'm super excited about them because they have some really awesome features and they're super light and super bright. Now, I'm not going to jump into too much of that right now. Let's roll that intro and then we'll get into the unboxing. We'll talk about them, we'll check them out, and we'll see how they work. My name is Connor, and this is where the Informal Tech Reviews live. Let's jump right into the website. We're going to take a look at the launch page. Now, one thing that I want to point out, and you can probably tell by my shirt, I'm a huge Batman fan, and so RayNeo does have a DC Warner Brothers Batman collaboration going on, and so they have two special edition limited editions, and they're going to be a Batman version and a Joker version. Now, I'm hoping to get my hands on both of them. I'm doing my best. We'll see what I can do. Definitely hit subscribe if you want to see some unboxings and initial impressions of those. But there's a voting thing on the website where you can enter to try and win one of the devices, as well as a subscription method to get 50% off the Air 4 Pro right here. And I'm going to actually take these off because they're pretty dark and it's hard to see my screen with them on. So let me switch back over to the X3 Pros. Now, looking at the website, you can see right now Batman has a huge lead over the Joker, which is what you like to see. But you know, the Joker, I don't know if anybody's following the Absolute series of the comics. I've been following on YouTube where people, you know, do their commentary on them, and that's definitely been an awesome series. The Joker on there is terrifying, but I digress. There's a couple awesome ways to save money on the RayNeo Air 4 Pro, and one of those, at least in the launch, is going to be picking up the Air 4 Pro with a trade-in deal. And so what I would recommend doing, and I would normally at this point be suggesting people use my promo code, because with my promo code Informal Tech, you can save 10% off. There's also another one called just Informal, but you can save 10% off of your RayNeo.com purchase. But with the trade-in program, you're actually saving more than 10% off. So my recommendation, if you want to support the channel, I greatly appreciate it, is go ahead and use the link in the comment section or the description when you go to the website, and then I'll still be credited with the purchase. So definitely appreciate that. It supports the channel. But I wouldn't suggest using the Informal Tech promo code or anybody else's affiliate promo code for that matter, because getting these for $159 or $199 is, I believe, $50 extra off of the initial launch promo price. So what you have to do is submit the proof of your device, right? You have to get approved within 24 hours. So definitely do that right now if you haven't already. And then you'll get a promo code where you can move into the new set of glasses for super cheap. Now, let's go back to the actual Air 4 Pro site and let's learn a little bit about them, right? So there's not actually a ton of details on the website right now. I'm sure once the actual launch page goes, and you're able to purchase them, you'll have some more information on that. But I can run you through some of the information that I have. So there's a couple major upgrades on the Air 4 Pro series compared to like the 3S Pros. And the first one is going to be the Bang & Olufsen collaboration. And so you can see on the side of the glasses, they now have a partnership with Bang & Olufsen, and basically they help to tune the speakers to make the audio a little bit better. And it does sound better. I wouldn't say it's like leaps and bounds better than the 3S Pros. It's definitely an upgrade, so definitely appreciate that there. There's also a little bit of a styling change. You can see on the side, they now have the RayNeo symbol instead of the actual word RayNeo. Let me grab my other ones so I can show the difference. You can see on this version, they had the actual word RayNeo, if I can get it out of the glare. But one of the other awesome parts is they do ship with the sunshade now. And so when you go to use them either outside or somewhere where there's a lot of light, you can slap that on. And one of my recommendations to RayNeo actually was to, now that they're including this sunshade in the box, they should lessen the tint on the actual glasses, because one thing that I noticed when I switched back to my X Real glasses was that I'm actually able to use those while kind of moving around and doing things a little bit better. And part of the reason is because that tint is just so dark that if you're not outside, you literally can't see anything. So there's that. The screen does stay the same size at that measured 201-inch screen at 6 meters away. RayNeo worked with Pixelworks to basically create what they call the Vision 4000 chip. And what this chip does is it allows HDR10 display playback. And so if you have an HDR10 capable device in the settings, you can actually navigate to the display settings, and there's an HDR10 setting as well as an AI HDR setting. And so the AI HDR basically simulates real HDR with the display, kind of working on the colors and changing it so it looks, and that is probably the biggest upgrade that I would say is between the 3S Pro and the 4 Pro, and it is an amazing upgrade. But if you already had the Air 3S Pros and you were not going to be taking advantage of the trade-in and launch promotions and you didn't care about the special edition, I might recommend actually passing on the Air 4 Pros. But if you had anything older than the 3S Pros, then this is going to be an awesome upgrade. There are a few things that it still lacks compared to the other competitors, but those are things like the 3 degrees of freedom, things like that, that are built into the glasses and come with some sort of, like, I don't know, maybe a puck that comes with it. I do have an awesome video on the in-air pod that I would recommend checking out. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel if you want to see some more awesome tech like that. But definitely go check out the in-air pod video. I did use the Air 4 Pro with them, and one of the things that I did is I actually took the time to build an application that does use the sensors, because they do have sensors inside the Air series of glasses. So the Air 4 Pro is no different in that, where they have the sensors built into it to have 3 degrees of freedom capability. So when you're turning your head, your screen either stays the same or you're manipulating something within a game. So I built a little game that's a proof of concept that I use in that in-air pod video. And I'll probably put the footage in here as well, because it's important to know that the glasses do have that capability, but currently there's not a whole lot of software using that capability. Most phones that I've experimented with did not support the actual HDR10 output, but if you connect it to like a Windows device or maybe like a Steam Deck or something like that that can put out an actual HDR image, it does look leaps and bounds better. Now, if I move into a couple of the other features that are focused in here, is they also have an AI 2D to 3D, and that's done through the application and with the glasses. I haven't had a chance to really experiment with that, and 3D is really not my thing. I'm not like super into the 3D conversions, but I think it'll be a pretty awesome addition. And if that's something that you really care about, being able to turn something that's 2D into sort of more of a spatial experience, I think will be a cool feature. So I made this little chart that runs through some of the specifications, and the ones that I really wanted to point out are highlighted. So you can see right there we have the weight and display. So the weight is 76 grams, not counting the nosepad, and that's super light. So it's light enough to be able to wear for extended periods, and that's one of the benefits to not having a lot of those other sensors and cameras and things that some of the other glasses have. This one's not going to be weighed down on your face and start to hurt your nose. The displays are micro OLED, so that's important to know. Those blacks are going to be pitch black, but when you're wearing them through the glasses and they're being projected into that birdbath optic, the blacks do start to look invisible, but with that HDR is where it really gets elevated to the next level. Now the resolution is going to be 1920 by 1080 per eye, unless you're in 3D mode, which then goes to 3840 by 1080. Now, the contrast ratio is big, not something that I'm like super knowledgeable in, but the field of view is a big point of contention for some people, because obviously the higher the field of view, the more immersive the experience. In the RayNeo Air 4 Pros, we are looking at a 47-degree field of view, so it's not like the best, but for the price and for what you're getting, I think it's pretty reasonable. Now the image size, they claim it to be 201 inches as seen 6 meters away. For me, I put it similar to, I think I said in one of my videos, it's like my 42-inch screen sitting on my desk, and I moved away from it, just, you know, a little over arm's length. So it's a big immersive screen, but it's not going to feel like you're sitting front row at an IMAX or anything. Now the brightness is where the RayNeo glasses have really been excelling, and so these ones are no different. You're up to 1200 nits with 8 levels of adjustment, so if it's too bright you can lower it down. I have seen some people say that the brightness does not get quite low enough for if you're sitting in a dark room, and they do feel like it's a little bit too bright. I personally don't feel that way. I think it gets low enough, but I'm one of those weirdos who like always keeps it super bright even if I'm in a dark room. The refresh rate is adjustable and it can go up to 120 hertz, so that's super important. On the other side of the table you can can see a couple other things in here like the USB-C cable, it's C2C, so that's important to be able to know what you're connecting to. Talks about the co-tuned speakers by Bang & Olufsen, some specs on the actual display information, and the color gamut. I personally am not like that big into display technology, so I really can't like speak to that. But in the physical buttons, there is a volume control, the brightness control, and then you have different button combinations as well as the menu to be able to enable some things like the side-by-side 3D. And that is different than the AI 3D, which I haven't seen, at least not yet, enableable within the glasses themselves. I believe it's going to be in the application, which will likely have an update when these go officially live. The arms of the glasses, I guess that's where the bicolor injection happens. But they do have adjustability. Oh, these are not those glasses. They do have adjustable arms in the temple though. So like on the RayNeo X3 Pros, one of my biggest complaints is that the temples cannot be adjusted, but these ones, they do adjust pretty well. So if you wanted to be able to adjust that to get the view box within your eyesight, and then you can do that still. You can get prescription lens inserts from Lensology, so that's definitely where I would recommend going. There's probably some other places. I've seen some really cheap ones on like AliExpress that you can get for super cheap. If you're someone like me who goes through tons of display glasses, that might be a better solution because they would be a little bit cheaper, but the official partner is Lensology, so definitely check them out as well. Moving over to the unboxing, the case that it comes in is a little bit darker this year, and the glasses are still that super tinted reflective exterior design with the Bang & Olufsen logo on this side and the RayNeo logo on the other side. It still has all the same buttons, volume, menu, up and down for the menu, which acts as a volume knob or brightness knob. I forget the order of them, but the lens shade actually comes in the box this year, which is awesome, and the screen is amazing. This is actually me playing on the Air 3S Pros. I was playing Doom in one of my older videos, but if you want to see some stuff like that, check out the channel, there it is. And here are the actual glasses. Okay, so if I have my Air 4 Pros and I bust out something like the in-air pod, all I really need to do is connect the glasses to the device and put them on, and I'm in. All right, and that's the RayNeo Air 4 Pro. Now, there's a few things that I really like about it, and there's a few things that I think RayNeo still needs to work on a little bit. The main one for work on is going to be, I think, this tint now. So we established that the glasses are super duper bright. We have the sunshades, so if you're in a bright environment and you want to cover it up, RayNeo now I think is the time to do something about the darkness of the lens so we can actually see our environment if we choose to, right? The other one is going to be just sort of the SDK, I guess, the development kit for being able to take advantage of the sensors in the glasses. It did take me a little bit to figure it out. Granted, I was using AI to help me do it, and we were able to get it figured out, and that's why I was able to make that proof of concept that you guys saw with the in-air pod. But it's basically to the point where these other glasses have so many features that the RayNeo glasses start to feel a little bit behind. Now, I personally don't think all those features are necessary. It depends on your use case, right? So for me, my typical use case is I like to use these glasses when the wife wants to go to a coffee shop and work or something, because I do work remote, and so I'm able to jump out and go do that, and I plug into the glasses, I shut the laptop, I have my keyboard and mouse, and I have my big screen right in front of me. And depending on your OS, there's some really awesome third-party applications that take advantage of these glasses and their sensors and things like that, but I would really like to see RayNeo make it a little bit easier to be able to develop applications like that. But if you're on the Air 3S Pro, would I suggest upgrading? Probably not. I think maybe pass on this one. If there's RayNeo has been really pumping out these glasses and the new versions have been coming out. I think last year we had 2, we're already on 1, so we'll see if another one comes out later this year. If you have the 3S Pro and you want to take advantage of some of the launch bonuses, then I would say it's probably still a good deal. So if you're going to take advantage of like the first 100 people getting a free accessory, if you're getting the trade-in thing, definitely at $199 plus free accessories, it's probably still worth it. So I would recommend doing that. But if you're outside of the launch window and you have 3S Pros might be worth passing. Now, anything older than the 3S Pros, then I would say this is definitely a compelling choice. So if you have the Air 3s or maybe the 2S, definitely this is something to look at. Now, I've personally seen the special edition ones and their lens covers and how they look, and they're amazing. I don't know that I would wear the lens covers like out in public, but I mean, knowing me, I'd probably still do the Batman one, but that's something to consider. If you really want the lens shade and you want to be able to take it places and use it, then the limited edition one may not be the best way to go. But I don't know. I haven't actually got my hands on it yet. Hopefully they'll be coming soon. We'll see. But definitely excited about that limited edition. And honestly, it really has made me excited for the products in a way that I haven't been for other ones. Like, there have been some other collaborations. I think Buttery had one for Cyberpunk, and I think X-Reel has one with ROG. But yeah, I mean, it's DC, it's Batman. That's like, that's pretty awesome, and I'm excited about it. But definitely appreciate everyone sticking around as long as you have. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button. If you want to see some more awesome tech content, hit the subscribe button. Definitely use the link in the comment section or the description if you go to purchase these, and I help to benefit that decision in any way. It does support the channel and helps enable us to make more awesome videos like this, so definitely appreciate you guys doing that. If somebody tries to push their affiliate code on you in the launch period, you know, definitely don't do that. The trade-in program is a much better deal, and from what I read, and it seems like you're not actually sending anything in, it's more photos and stuff, but don't take my word for it. Definitely go read up on it and check it out. If you end up picking them up, let me know what you think, see how we like them. Definitely check out some other awesome videos on the channel. The Mudra Link video just went live a couple days ago, so that's definitely one that I would recommend if you have a set of smart glasses that you want to be able to interact with. Even the Air 4 Pros would be good for them, because you can connect the Mudra to your phone, put your phone in your pocket, and then you're using motion capabilities to be able to do that. So that's definitely an awesome way to go. Again, my name is Connor. This is where the Informal Tech Reviews live. We'll see you next time. Peace.